Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you perking good. So, it is that time, October 2023 predictions video. We're gonna do it today. October is already upon us. I say already because somehow September went really fast, and yet it was one of the slowest months and one of the worst months for me in this entire year. So let's hope we are seeing some better shit coming our way in October 2023. We're fixing to take a look at that, get some predictions, and see where to go. So, I'm a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we do take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that scare you off. Got a great track record over here, so I'm going to pull up the cards and move this microphone right here. Old Penelope in her white eyes trying to... This one eye is kind of all over the place. Trying to have her match me. Yeah, we're trying to match here. But yeah, October 2023. Let's see what we've got in store here, and let's hope that it will treat me better than September treated me. I heard a lot of y'all were having a rough September as well, hoping that we get some good stuff here in terms of what we can expect for October. So let's take a peek here, see what we're allowed to know, get all shuffled up. A lot of the September stuff has been just coming true. And so, here we go again. No, stop. And I know it's supposed to be here I go, but I had to do we go. Yeah. Okay, just get on with it. Yeah. So, as always, this will be international, so this can be open to any country around the world. Don't like to leave anybody out in terms of the information that comes through, and we take a look at all kinds of things: politics, health and wellness, the economy, and everything that goes on with under the umbrella of the economy, and anything else that we're meant to know. So we take a peek at all kinds of stuff here. Let's dive right on in and get us started with politics in October 2023. Let's see what happens here. This is a very interesting lay of the land. Okay. So, just throwing this out there. We got some interesting stuff coming up top row and bottom row as two separate types of things here. So first off, what I'm seeing with the top row, I'm seeing some sort of politically this idea of alliances tightening, certain grips getting tighter, and I see that coming from places that would not have normally been, I guess people would have undervalued that or overlooked that. You know, it's kind of like people would be like, oh, I didn't really take them as a serious contender, but now I do, or something like that. So there's some kind of a twist up where people are going to start viewing at least one other person, but maybe a couple of other people as real contenders, politically speaking, in ways that they didn't think of before. This very well could be talking about the United States, because I know we've got a 2024 election coming up next year. People are already kind of talking about it. Things are already kind of going on with that. So it could be talking about that. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. That's the feeling that I'm getting here, because they're coming up with this like, hey, there's some people that are going to start to becoming more to the forefront as actual contenders. As this is happening, I'm seeing down here similarly talking about what to me feels like kind of United States politics here. I'm getting these cards: Five of Pentacles upright, Emperor in reverse, and Four of Pentacles in reverse. And as I say all this, let me just point out, make sure I do this, that this is all alleged, just my interpretation. Everything in these videos, always all alleged, just my interpretation. Y'all know when I'm talking about politics and I get my little emperor card here up in the reverse position and we're talking, the topic that has first come up does seem to be about the United States and our political sphere here. Y'all know that this guy, say it with me, former President Trump, it comes up like that. Y'all know, just like, when we're talking about U.S. politics and we see our King of Cups, we know that it's current President Joe Biden. This is a reverse position. That's not good for him. That's not good for him. So I'm not trying to upset Trump supporters here, as y'all know, and I've said it over and over and over and over and over on this channel. I am more of a moderate. I am more of a centrist. I have views on both ends of the spectrum, which makes me neither a Democrat nor a Republican. It makes me an independent. So I am not married to the idea of Joe Biden or Donald Trump. This is showing him in a reversed position, which is not great. It's not great. In fact, this is a losing control and this is a grasping at straws. So it's not showing him getting strengthened here. It's not showing him get strengthened here. In fact, I did a reading, in case you didn't see it, I did a reading on the future of Trump, and it was so far ago that as I'm going back through my list of videos here that I have on my screen, I'm not even able to see. Let's see. I did that on April 8th this year. I posted that video on April 8th this year. So, a long time ago, in politics, relatively speaking, in politics, that's a long time ago. Early April, I did a reading on Trump, and it said he's going to be stronger on the front end and weaker on the back end, and it had a lot of other details there in case you want to go check out that video. But this is what we're seeing, the whole weaker on the back end part. That's what we're seeing. I'm seeing some losing grips, losing control, grasping at straws, things like that. I'm not seeing things here that bode too well for him, and I'm not trying to trash talk the man. I have respect for people who have tried to guide this country. I'm just saying this does not look good for his prospects. So I'm going to get a little bit more on this and then see kind of where it takes us from there. Oh, interesting. All right. Throw that up, why don't we? Ooh. Okay, so the Devil card here, when we see it in reverse, that's actually a better position to see it in, though it's still not always a great welcomed card, so to speak. Ace of Pentacles upright, Nine of Wands upright. This is like that. Politically speaking, and I guess, again, they're keeping on right now with the theme of the U.S., talking about that there's some things that are really just going to have to let go. There's some people and ideas and perspectives and alliances and things that those chains need to break. Those chains need to break, and in October we're going to start to see that, and we're going to start to see some kind of a newness pushing in, and we're also going to see some sort of a resiliency as well. So there's likely to be a bit of political ugliness, like turf warring, sparring, dick measuring contests, so to speak, in ways that were not readily predictable, and in ways that are not exactly what we've seen before. This is gonna look different. This is gonna look different, and it's all going to start rolling in October 2023. This is some serious stuff. Like, I got to keep saying, like, uncharted territory, blazing a new trail, having something new and different and abnormal in the political scene. And we're going to have to see things differently, shake things up differently, accept hard truths and let go. Because like, this is one of those things, like, if you don't let go on your own, it can get ripped away from you. So you better let go on your own, in your own way, in your own time, and figure out how to pick up the pieces by yourself and piece it. Oh, I'm sorry, Penelope. And figure out how to put it back together again. You know, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, put them back together again, kind of thing. It's like we better be doing that on our own terms now, going ahead and coming to terms with it and figuring out what to do with that now. Because if we don't let go of that and we hold on and keep trying to push, it's people are going to get screwed over. People are going to get screwed over. So politically especially, and that feels like it's talking kind of about both sides. To be frank, and I'm sure this will require its own separate reading, and that day will come, because it'll be inevitable on this channel to not cover that. There will probably be a day where I cover the actual 2024 upcoming presidential election in the States. But from what this is showing, and this kind of bridging the gap between more of the Democrat side and more of the Republican side, it's looking like if people don't let go of the chains that are binding them to being like, we have to choose, you know, President Joe Biden again. And if people don't let go of the chains that are binding them to, we have to try former President Donald Trump again, we have to, then things are going to screw up. It looks like, and I'm sorry to say it, because I know that this is more of a forward, almost impartial or partial type of thing to say, more than my typical, but I say what I see. I've got to read it as I see it. And y'all know that's what I do. I say what I see, even if it's uncomfortable. It's looking like people who are super, super cozied up to wanting Biden to be president again, and people who are super, super cozied up to wanting Trump to be president again, it's kind of looking like we need to let those things go and not take that road, not go that route, because we're fixing to screw ourselves over. Like, we want to see that devil card in reverse. I don't want to be looking at this reading later on, diving in, and find this card upright to show that we didn't let it go. And here we're going down a similar path, and it's about to get thunderous. That, we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. I'm sorry to say that's what I'm seeing here. I know that doesn't feel good to people, because people have, you know, big ideas, and I'm not telling you who to vote for or anything like that. You align with whoever you want to align. Vote your conscience is what they tell us, right? Vote your conscience. So if that's what your conscience is telling you, okay, but I'm just letting you know, from what I'm seeing, it might be a good idea to have some soul searching moments over that if you're feeling drawn to one of those two people, because it's getting weird, and it's getting weird starting in October 2023. I don't know what about October, Lord help us, makes this be kind of the pivotal moment where that stuff starts to roll like a snowball. I don't know what it is about this month in particular that's bringing this to the forefront, but for whatever reason, it's important. And so I'm throwing it out there for what it's worth, and we'll just have to see how it makes sense as it starts to unfold. So that's one thing. I do want to pull more on politics, but I want to see if we can open it up and get a different topic here. So I'm going to push these up to the top, see if we can get a different topic about politics here, and we can know anything. Again, open, you know, internationally. I'm going to shuffle up one more time here with the cards. So, all right. In terms of anything else that we can know about the political arena, 2023, open globally, anything else that we could know, should know, need to know about politics in October 2023 specifically. I don't know if I said that. I need to say that. I need to be specific. All right. Ooh, somebody fixing to get knocked off their horse. Yeah. Two things. One thing, somebody's fixing to get knocked off their horse, politically speaking. And again, this is moving on to a separate political topic than what we were just referring to. Somebody's about to get knocked off their high horse. Whoever this is, they're getting knocked off of their horse because of this big influx of like, we've had it, enough with this, you know, the whole Alice in Wonderland, off with their head, like that kind of a thing is going on, playing out in my mind right now as I'm seeing this. So I'm seeing like the voice of the people, the populace, rising up and being like, enough, no, change it, moving on, next, like, as it relates to somebody, and they're fixing to have their D-Day happen, and fall off their horse. So that's something that's going to be a pretty big deal, politically speaking, to whoever this happens to. So in some kind of a way, somebody's going to get dethroned, so to speak, and it will be a noticeable thing. Like if this happen, even if this happens, say it happens in a smaller country, other countries would know about it and be like, oh my gosh, did you hear about what happened there? You know, like this is a big deal. This is a big deal. On the other side, over here, we're seeing kind of the opposite happen, but in a weird way over here. And this, I don't know if this is related to this, could be totally separate, but could also be tied in. I see that there is a female figure who's going to be able to rise up in the ranks because of everything falling down around her. So I see, and like I said, this could be a part of this. It could be separate. But there's this female figure right here who, because everything is falling apart around her, you know, there's chaos going on. People are, you know, shit's collapsing, and basically she's like, okay, it's my turn to step up, get in here and like make something of this before all the walls cave in, basically. And I see her being able to kind of get to jump in there and try to take over and try to fix whatever this collapse is. So I see her rising up. This is a good thing for her. It's a challenging position she would be putting herself in, inheriting a really shitty situation here, and trying to make the best of that. So again, I don't know if she's coming in and taking this person's place, or if we're talking about two totally separate things, and just politically we've got some weird downside here and some weird upside here. Like, you know, it could be that. As people say, anytime someone dies, a new baby is born. There's always the yin and the yang kind of thing, energy happening, and it could be a version of that. But in other words, based on this and what they already said about United States politics, we're talking a lot of upheaval energy in October 2023. Like a lot of political upheaval energy in October 2023, and that's rough. That's rough. Not gonna sugarcoat it. Not gonna lie. That's a bit of a yikes. That's a bit of a yikes. Let's go ahead, in service of time, we got other categories we need to pull up here. So just so we don't, you know, have time run away from us, let's pull these back up, shuffle them back in, and see if we can't look up the next category, which is the economy. Figuring out more about the economy, and you know, another big yikes there. So as I'm shuffling up here, if you'd like a private reading with me, you can always book a private reading. Shit shuffle. You can always book a private reading with me. On my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. It's listed in the description box below, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can book a private reading with me, and you can also do any other services. If you need Reiki energy clearing and cleansing, if you need life coaching, if you want to learn how to read the cards the way I read the cards, all of that is on BeasTalksAndTarot.com. So mosey on over there to my website if you'd like any of those. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. So, October 2023, the economy. What can we know? Spirit guides, light team. What can we know about the economy? October 2023. I'm starting to, like, literally as I'm pulling these cards, I'm starting to feel overheated. And that is whenever I get like a surge of stuff coming in energetically. I start to overheat because obviously energy is heat, is warm, and the more of it you got, the warmer it's going to be. Hence the sun having a shit ton of energy and being hot as fuck. Yeah, so that makes me feel like the economy is going to be hot in October 2023. This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm seeing things start out well here. We've got some good cards at the top. That could be part of the heat here, is that I'm seeing some things go on where people are feeling like a lot of buying and trading, a lot going on, having this sense of like strike while the iron is hot. Again, another heat reference here. There's a lot of heat references here coming up. And so I'm seeing that those are good signs here. The trouble is then we kind of go with this piece here. And with this piece, there's something that gets a little out of control with the economy in October 2023. Something gets a little bit out of control, and there's several pieces and parts to this. So it feels like one thing that gets out of control starts not here in the US. So it starts somewhere overseas, because I've got my Three of Wands card in reverse. So somewhere overseas, something happens, and it causes October 2023's economy, like, you know, our world interrelated economy, to start having some weird shit go on. Not so good things going on. We take a hit with that some kind of a way, and it starts somewhere else. If I'm trying to get some sort of specificity in this, and you know it's not always easy to do that with tarot, but if I'm gonna get specificity, it's like further east. So, you know, think east as in like China, Russia, you know, over there, that kind of area or something like that. There's some kind of an overseas something further east as I'm sitting here in the States. And that something starts there that starts to do weird things to the world economy. So that feels slippery. Like, I know that's a weird word to describe it, but it feels slippery. It feels like kind of losing some control, some kind of a way, like that we sitting here in the US would feel like it's somewhat of a loss of control or something like that, going in a direction that we don't want over here. And I assume that there are countries around that want similar things as the US. So people who want similar, or countries that want similar things as the US, would be equally upset or weirded out or uncomfortable about these shifts. But then people who are not necessarily wanting the same things as the US wants, they might be okay with this. They might be okay with this, but I still see it being kind of a hit across the world. So I don't know what this is. It's not terrible, okay? So for people who get really scared easy and stuff like that, I'm not seeing, you know, terrible shit here for October 2023 with the economy. I'm just seeing some weird thing. Like, you know, if I were to bop her, you know, then it moves and moves and moves further. There's a ripple effect of things that happen. You know, you hit this card, it bumped into this card, and it bumped into that card. You know, you can't, with economy, it's hard to just go boom oh, that only affected them. It didn't really do anything to anybody else. You know, usually in economy, it's more like this. And, oh, it fucked up these. These two are okay, though. So I'm seeing that kind of a thing happen. I know this is a weird visual way to explain it, but I get weird visuals when I'm trying to explain things. People who do private readings with me understand. It's just how they are having me visualize what this means. There's a hit to one that has an effect on others in a negative way in October 2023 coming from the East relative to where I'm sitting in the United States. So throwing that out there just as a heads up, you know, I'm not overly concerned about what I'm seeing here, but it is something that sufficiently needs a heads up. It warrants a heads up. So we're just putting that out there. So this makes me feel like I need to go ahead and pull into some other categories here. I'm going to pull this up, start looking into some other categories here. And as I'm shuffling up here, again, with these monthly predictions videos, we always have two. We always have the main one here on the main channel that, you know, we take a look at thoroughly, but then we always have an extended video. And that's where we go on the Perk Squad and just see what else passed beyond this. I mean, I'm about to look up more, but that we'll look later on a second extended video on the Perk Squad to see what else can we know. What else did they not say in this video that we may need to know about October 2023? So those extended videos are available on the Perk Squad. If you would like to be a member of the Perk Squad, you can click the blue join button below, or you can click the link in the description box. Lots of perks to the Perk Squad, one of which being video shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Katie May. Shout out to you, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you here. So shout out to you, Katie May, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. And you'll be seeing the October predictions extended extra footage video shortly. But for right now, we're still here. We are still here, everyone. And we are looking into health, wellness, any other things that from the former categories we've already visited that need to kind of seep themselves back out, have a little bit more time in the sun here. We're fixing to find that out. So let's see. What else can we know? October 2023 Spirit Guides, please. Alrighty. This is all very interesting. Alright, I say what I see. It's just sometimes when I see things, it's hard to say what I see. So I do say what I see. It's just not fun or easy sometimes. I feel like it makes me a target for people to get angry at me. You know, again, don't shoot the messenger. We just always got to have to say something like that. When I'm looking at this, I would expect to see this purely in the political category, the one we started off with first. That's where I would expect to see these types of cards, this type of lineup. But instead, it's coming up now when we're talking a little bit more about health and wellness. And I don't like it when health and wellness stuff and political stuff get like this, all enmeshed and entangled, because that's when things start to get contentious and people start fighting and everything goes down the tube. But we're seeing that again. So a reprisal of politics, health and wellness together. People who like that, celebrate, because October 2023 is about it. People that don't like it, I'm sorry, because October 2023 is about it. What I'm seeing here, someone here with a lot of power that's able to kind of put forth, regulations, literally the word that came up in my mind, it made me laugh just now because the word that came up in my mind was commandments, like the 10 commandments in the Bible, but that is so not what we should be thinking about here. But the way that the guides just worded this was like, oh, it's going to be like someone who's putting out the commandments, but that's a very weird way of wording that. And I laughed about it because it caught me off guard. But then the more I sit on it and think about it, the more it makes me feel a little weird, like not a good weird, like a bad weird. Especially because the Hierophant card, y'all know, my governments and institutions card, the Judgment card, putting out a message. You see what he's doing? Blowing his horn. Toot toot, motherfucker. That's what we're seeing. And then we see bringing this up to the forefront, starting some projects, sneaking around, self-sabotage, getting, stepping, like getting in our own way, shooting yourself in the foot, whatever. So to me, this does feel like making some sort of health and wellness orders and things like that from institutions in ways that, from what they're showing, and I'm not trying to be controversial, I'm just trying to read what I'm seeing. And again, like I said, don't shoot the messenger. Some things I see and I don't want to say because I know it puts me in a weird position, but I have to because my integrity tells me to say what I see. It feels shady. It feels shady. So even if it's a good thing to put out messaging about health and wellness, even if it's a good thing to encourage people to make healthy decisions for themselves and their families, even if all of that is a good thing, y'all know I've worked in the broad healthcare type of field my entire career. I'm totally into the idea of public health and things like that. I'm down with that. But when it gives that weird vibe of politics and it gives that weird vibe of 10 commandments, and then we're talking about health and wellness, that's weird. And these are shifty cards, especially these two. Y'all know that. I'm not making that up. They're here. Y'all see it. So I don't like that because to me, that feels opportunistic. It feels like saying, sure, we need to put out certain messaging, but then now is a good time to slip in X, Y, or Z because we want to. Or now is a good time to pitch it from this angle because it benefits us. Or now is a good time to throw this into the mix with that because there's opportunity there, for whatever it is, whether it's finances or status and power or any combination of the two or other things. There's some kind of a weird opportunistic thing which is shady, and I don't like it. And people can do that all the time. People can be putting out good things that people should be taking a listen to and heeding with caution and like really, marinating on and stuff like that. People should listen to things about health and wellness. But slipping and sliding little things in there, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that? You know what I mean? I can tell they're trying to give me an example. It's kind of like the example they're putting in my head is like if you go somewhere, say you go, I don't know, I'm just going to throw something out, to a chiropractor or something, and you're getting yourself all popped and cracked and whatever, and that's what you were going towards. And they started saying something like, oh, I can tell you've got these certain muscle groups that really won't relax, and you're not going to get enough out of your popping and cracking until you get those muscle groups, under control. Hey, here, I know a guy, here's their business card, go see so-and-so, they're a great massage therapist. And then you find out later that the two of them are kind of in business business with each other. The I scratch my back, you scratch yours. There's nothing wrong with referring to people that you know do a good job. There's nothing wrong with thinking, oh, this person can benefit from more than one service and we can both help them. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you know you're playing up something because you want to slide in to something else that has some kind of kickback or benefit to you or something, you know what I mean? I'm having a hard time explaining this because I know there's a better way to explain it than what I'm saying, but I think you get the picture. You know, that on the surface there could be, you know, this could look like there's nothing wrong with that. What's the shame in doing that? People do that kind of thing all the time. But then there is a dark side potential of, yeah, but are you doing that because you get something out of it or, you know, whatever. And it's not really about me. It's really about you and your, you know, that kind of a thing. I'm getting that here. I've beat a dead horse. Okay. I've thrown too much at this. Y'all get the point. If you don't get it by now, I'm sorry. Ask somebody in the comments to explain it to you. I'm sure you get it by now. I'm sure everybody's like, all right, we know, move on, bitch. And I'm like, all right, I will. Thank you. So let's go ahead and do that then. In moving on, that brings us to the extended video. So y'all tell me what you think about all these things coming up in here, because this looks like October is gonna be a weird... Y'all don't want to know the words that fine, I'll tell you the words. So, the words that came to my mind, there was a meme. I was just scrolling around, you know, you get weird memes that don't really make sense to you. There was a meme on Facebook and I was like, what is this? It was a meme and it had, who was his name? Ron DeSantis, and it said something on there about silly season, and I was like, what the fuck is silly season or whatever, and I was like, I don't understand this, so I looked it up, and apparently he actually said that. He actually said something about something being silly season, and it was kind of apparently taken as a cringy thing to say, and if I think about it, you know, it's kind of, who says that, you know? So I get that. But then as I was literally closing this up, thinking of what kind of a month is October, the words silly season came up in my mind. And I'm like, why those words of all words? Because that's cringy. It's lame. It's funny. It's hard to take seriously, but yet it denotes fuckery. But saying silly season is like the family friendly way of saying fuckery. So apparently October is silly season. And that's not just politically, that's all across the world and in all of these different categories. And it's a lot. So get prepared for silly season. Apparently, whatever that's going to look like, it's going to make a hell of a lot of sense. By the time this is all over, we're going to be like, that's why they chose those words. That's why the guides used those words exactly, because there's something about it that will be that. So it looks like we've got a lot of things we really could look at and read on throughout October. I sure hope I've got the time to do it, because I just feel like there's so much that I could dive into. So anywho, Perk Squad members, we're coming at you with an extended video round 2 coming up in just a second here. For everybody else, all the rest of you percolators, stay tuned to the end. We always have B-rolls attached to the end. That way you can end a video feeling lighthearted, with a smile, with a laugh, whatever, puppy shenanigans, all kinds of shit like that. So stay tuned to the end, watch a little B-roll, lift your spirits, and again, BeasTalksAndTarot.com for anybody that wants a private reading or any of those services. Also, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, y'all. Ferocious. Ferocious. No, I'm not gonna start licking the bed, damn it. Like, quit with that shit.
Yeah. No, he's already got lick.
He's done.
Yeah.
Now he's doing the bed licks and bullshit. You don't need to do bed licks, son!
But no toy for him. They both have toys, but I don't want to take them away
From their toys, yeah. Those are their toys right now. Sorry, Teddy. They have their own toys they're working through right now. That was your own tail. Did you see he tried to chew his own tail? He's licking the bed again. Little liquor. Stops. Oh my gosh. He's still gonna lick the bed. Wow. Don't you lick my pillow.
He's looking at me like, nice.
Teddy. He still wants to lick the bed. He's just pretending that he wants to take a toy. Okay. Okay, you're gonna be smooth and take a toy right now. Alright. We all know you wanna lick this bed. But whatever. Whatever. Thank you for choosing a toy. Yep.